Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Michelle Briggs at Your Personal Real Estate. We are continuing today with Scott McGrath. He's the owner of McGrath Pest Control. How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm so glad that you are here. You personally take care of my termite inspections when needed. So I appreciate who you are for us for realtors and us in this industry. So tell us a little bit about you and McGrath, like why you started McGrath Pest Control.
Sure. So this is our 49th year to be in business. So actually my dad started the company in 1974. He was a school teacher, wanted to get out, do something different, and thought this would be a great industry. So I've kind of grown up with it. I've always done it on the weekends. And then I started about 23 years ago full-time doing it. And then I've owned it for about 14 years now. It's been a great business for us.
Wonderful. So with McGrath having, you have so many services that you provide homeowners. What do you see as the most common issue with a home?
Well, here in Houston, we have a cornucopia of different insects. But the majority of the insects that we see are typically roaches, ants, spiders, termites, things like that. Those are the ones that we see, and roaches are big here in Houston. So when someone has an issue or problem, they call us. Typically those 3 or 4 insects are the ones that we treat the most.
Well, I have a personal issue with roaches. I don't like them, so it's very important to make sure that my home is sprayed consistently.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it is.
So when someone is purchasing a home, one of the things when I represent the buyer, I look for different things that may flag or make concern of any type of pest issue. What do you recommend that the homeowner or the new buyer look for when walking through a home that they possibly are going to purchase to determine if there's a roach or any other pest problem?
Right. Well, when you walk through a house, whether it's furnished or not, one of the first things you want to look for are on window ledges, or their spider webs. Do you see droppings somehow? Specks of dirt. You can open up cabinets and see, are there droppings in there? Is anything rotten in there? Attics. Go in the attic, look and see. A lot of times you'll have roof rats that get into the attic, and you'll notice you have them because A, either the droppings are around, or B, you'll see tunneling through all the insulation in the attic itself. So those are just a few things on the inside of the house they can look for. Now, on the outside, there's just a lot of things you can look for as far as ant mounds and spiders in the trees and termites and different things like that.
Well, termite season is upon us. So when you're talking about termites outside, what should homeowners, speaking to homeowners, what should they be looking for to possibly identify termites? Not just outside, but are there tunnels along the wall? What are those signs?
Well, the first thing is you want to keep your foundation high around your house, okay? You don't want to put dirt or bricks or anything that covers up the foundation. Termites need 1/64 of an inch to get in somewhere, and that's it. And they're attracted to moisture and fungus. So we have to be able to see the foundation in order to see any sort of termite tunnel cruising up the side of the house. So what I tell my customers is, if you walk around the house, if you can't see your foundation, call me so we can look on the inside or look around different places. But if you see any sort of mud-looking tunnel, that may be termite. Now, it could be ants, but more than likely it's probably termites. So I tell them, don't touch it. Call me. We'll come out and take a look at it for you.
So when you come out, what is the procedure? What do you do to determine that is termites, in fact, termites?
Well, the big thing is just knowing what a termite tunnel looks like. Okay, there's a lot of big differences between ants and termites. The big thing that I look at is if I see any sort of hard mud tunnel up against the house, if I can literally kind of do this to it and nothing happens, typically it's termites. Or if I flick it off of there, you'll see the milky white termites running away from that opening. Termites hate openings. They have to have the high humidity inside their tunnels to live. That's why you'll never ever see a termite just walking around the driveway or the side of the house, anything like that. Typically, if you see that, it's probably ants.
Got it. We should then, when we find those tunnels, if I get that out, the tunnels, should we knock them off ourselves, or do we really need to just call you?
No, don't touch them. I tell everybody, stay away. Stay far away. Don't look at them. Don't even think about them. Just give me a call. We'll come out and we can take a look and see. Even if it's not termites, it could be. And now, I've actually seen ants cover a termite tunnel. So because ants are a natural predator for the termite. So we have ways, we have our experience, we know what to do, what to look for, that maybe some homeowners don't. And if you mess with it, sometimes then we can't tell after you knock it off if it's termites or not.
That completely makes sense. With the termite inspection, Alex, again, you've done many for me, and thank you again for your service.
Yes, ma'am.
How quickly, I know how quickly you provide the reports, but tell our viewers today how quickly you provide your termite inspections.
Oh, I can usually do a termite inspection in probably about 30, 45 minutes, depending on the size of the house, and I can get the inspections out in about 5 minutes. I've got these real nifty iPads that I put everything on, everything's electronic, and once I get it done, I can save it and then I can email it to the customer right then and there. Now, if they're there at the house, then what I typically do is I'll go over with them, I'll go over all the conducive conditions, things that I can't see, anything that promotes or could promote termite activity, and then I usually give them my recommendations of what I think they should do before they buy the house.
Wonderful. So not only do you do pest control, you have started a new division. I guess it's really not new, but a division that's wildlife services. It is. Tell us about that. How many calls in Houston do you
wow,
get?
that's yes. This whole new division is booming for us. It's like I said, we've been pest control forever. I just started this wildlife division about 2 or 3 years ago. Now that being said, even though it's new to my company, but I have employees that have been doing it for 15, 16, 17 years. So there's not much in the wildlife/animal division that we haven't seen. The majority of the calls that we get right now are rodents, squirrels, raccoons, possums. But we also too, we like to say anything that has 4 legs, we can trap, we can get rid of. We do lots of nutras, we do lots of bats. We even got an alligator call the other day. So still waiting to do that one, but we did get that call. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can do.
Well, speaking of alligators, I mean, you just don't know those community lakes sometimes. I always wonder. I would say just throw a rock out there before you do anything else or get close to the edge with your fur babies. So what has changed? Tell us a little bit about what has changed in pest control over the years, because there's so many types of treatments, and from years ago to today, I mean, there are services that have been eliminated just because of what was being used inside of a home. So tell us a little bit about what's changed over the years.
Well, a lot has changed as far as the chemical usage, what we're allowed to use, what we're not allowed to use. They've gotten rid of a lot of the really good, strong chemicals. Back in the day when my dad started this company, they had this chemical that you put it out once and you were done. You were done for like 30 years, but they outlawed that chemical. And so now we have to be a little more creative in what we do. Our tagline is we have to think like a bug and, be a detective and go in there and not necessarily just spray and go, but we have to identify the problem, figure out where it is, what it is, and then the best method to do it. Over the years too, a lot of customers have been worried about chemical exposure and their kids in their house. And so we're very aware of that, and we've altered our services and to meet their needs when it comes to it. So we don't just go inside the house and spray everywhere. We can do pest prevention. We can do just the outsides. We can walk around and go, here's some open areas that we think a cockroach or a spider or an ant could get into. So let's seal up those areas. We don't necessarily have to just put chemicals all around the house. So we feel the customers out, and we provide whatever service meets their needs to make them happy.
Scott, one of the things that I do know with the exterior of the home, and you have plants that, again, you're speaking to the type of pesticides that you use. I mean, they are plant friendly as well as fur baby friendly. Is there anything that you have or a pesticide that you use that you may say, please, stay off the grass for a few days?
Yes, we do. So there's a lot of chemicals. Now what we do is we follow the label. I mean, the label is our Bible. That is our law. So whatever the label says, that's what we do. We have one chemical that we can put in the yard that we've been using for probably about 15 years. It is a great hot chemical for all kinds of yard insects, but we do ask that you keep all animals and kids off the grass until it dries. Once it dries, it's perfectly fine. And again, that's according to the label itself. We have some chemicals that are not friendly to aquatic life or birds. So we have to read those and know where to treat it, where not to treat it, when we can treat it. Sometimes we have to treat it early in the daytime, sometimes late at night. So it all kind of depends on different things. We also provide a lot of eco-friendly chemicals because a lot of people are leaning more toward that. So we have that division of the company too, that we can provide the eco-friendly type of chemicals for our customers.
Great. Well, before we go to commercial break, tell us about your new YouTube show that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So, I'm all over social media. I've got a bunch of different things all over. I'm really trying to promote my YouTube page. It's called Pest Talk with Scott McGrath. It's just a real quick, sometimes it's 30 seconds, sometimes it's a minute. It could be every 2 weeks, it could be once a month. It's just a general thing of what's going on in the industry, what's going on with me and my life, what's going on with my company, anything that's new that's going on. When the termite season started, I got in there and I started talking about termites. When I do termite inspections, I'll have someone roll it for me, and I'll talk about why termite inspections are important and what to look for and what I look for and what I put on there. So it's something fun. It's nothing real serious or anything, and I'm definitely not like you, Michelle, but it's something I'm trying to go to. So again, it's Pest Talk with Scott McGrath. In fact, I even did a vacation version of it last week. So
wonderful. Well, thank you again for being here with us, Scott, and we'll be right back after these commercials.